While it's not difficult to find students or teachers who have had good experiences in the online learning environment, it's just as easy to find examples of bad experiences. Listen carefully to what these experienced instructional designers have to say about their worst online experience, and hopefully you will be able to avoid the pitfalls.
My worst experience is probably designing a piece of technology or a group activity, and the piece of technology doesn't work exactly as how I anticipated. So in that case, you have to go through and do some troubleshooting throughout the semester or throughout that particular activity in order to get the activity structure to work the way you thought it was going to work. So then you rework the activity for the next semester so that it actually turns out the way that you want.
I guess I was a designer in this course, but I was also teaching the course. And this was a fairly large course we had in collaboration with another university in Mexico, and we had multiple instructors. We probably had a couple hundred students in the course, and about 2 weeks in, one of the instructors accidentally reset all of the discussion forums in the course. Boom, they're gone. And so part of it was the panic of kind of getting the group back together, apologizing to the students, kind of repairing the fact that all of this kind of introductory process and kind of joining of the community had been wiped away.
It's pretty bad when a student doesn't contact you and you see that they're blank and they haven't really joined the classroom yet, and you don't know if they're out there and just don't know how to get into the classroom, or if you need to reach out to them and you can't. So I think being prepared for that is always good if you have a phone number that you can contact.
As a student in an online course, I think the worst experience was having the instructor not having a presence, in the sense that you're on your own, the instructor wasn't showing up in the discussion forums, you're feeling a bit at loose ends, whether or not the instructor was interested in you as a student, whether he's interested in what you had to say. And I think that's a very key part of being an instructor, is being active in facilitating discussion forums, whether they're chats or whether they're online videos or any of those kind of formats that are being used.
So the worst experiences have to do with assignments, and then students having difficulty submitting the assignments, students using the excuse of having technology break down as a reason not to submit their assignments on time. And so I would say that assessment is quite a challenging part of doing online learning.
One of the disadvantages or inconvenience from my online education, online learning, was that I needed some certain guidelines and directions about the discussion. Sometimes if we just open online education to students, it's easy to get lost.
The worst experience in an online environment is anything that requires you to read something that you might read online, like from a book. That could be a lot more individualized, that you could actually download and read offline, but somehow this online course is requiring you to do it online. That's not very helpful.
I haven't really had a really bad experience online, but the less enjoyable courses have been those that have really used the LMS as a repository, and the instructor basically just dumps a bunch of materials and doesn't have a lot of instructor presence, and then you end up sort of reading a bunch of stuff and having these discussions that don't really have, in a sense, have a purpose. They're sort of just there because someone told them that they need to have discussion questions in the course.
The worst experience probably has been dumping a PDF document online and expecting my students to read it and understand what online learning really means.
I thought the asynchronous discussion would really benefit, and so I had this very elaborate discussion set up with groups and everything. And yes, the students participated, but as an instructor going in there and providing feedback, it was really, really time consuming. So when you are designing courses, especially thinking of having discussions, it's a good idea, but also you need to think about how much time you would be able to spend. So that was the worst in case, because I had to employ more time moderating and also providing feedback.
We put one online classroom into this program at first out of 7 courses that we developed for them. His lectures in real time, synchronous time, went on for 4 hours. 4 hour straight lecture on legal research. Now myself, I would die if I had to sit for 4 hours listening to even an attorney general do that. The students, however, were enraptured and really engaged in it, and it worked in an extraordinarily way. The downside is, of course, you've got to be careful what you wish for. And what happened was that cohort of students then wanted that in all the other classes. And given that we're positively inclined towards students, we're student-centered, and we want them to be as successful as we can, we did that. We put online classrooms into all 7 courses. And at that point, I realized that all my evenings were going to be spent oversighting these courses. The downside is just workload. When you do something like that, you've really got to be careful about how much work you're going to ask people to do and ask yourself to do.